Hey everybody, welcome to Smashified episode 12. I am Omni, and today I am joined by my co-lead and fellow artist, Krys.
Hey.
And for the first time, we have a special guest joining us for commentary today. As described on his YouTube channel, he writes music, plays video games, and makes videos, and his name is Jordan Sweeto. How's it going, Jordan?
Hello, thank you guys so much for having me.
Definitely. This is the first episode of 2016. Woo! And as it's also the first episode since the end of the Smash ballot.
And it's the first episode since Patreon launched for us.
That's true, that as well. So if you were wondering if Smashified is going to continue after DLC, the answer is yes. We are going to keep going with it. It's even clearer now who we need to do, so
it's so
renewed
good.
vigor. We're going to be continuing to tackle characters. And if it's not already apparent what the character is for this episode, it is the femme fatale of the Star Fox series, Krystal.
Yeah.
Ooh. And this is something that we've been working on for a long time, for several months actually. And we wanted to bring Jordan on today because of all of the people who have been advocating for Krystal. Jordan and his fan base have been the most persistent and the loudest. So we wanted to bring him on for this commentary. We thought it would be a lot of fun. And it's happening. It's finally happening.
It is happening.
Crystals and Smash, guys.
Oh, don't say that to me. No, it's really cool to be a part of this, and we've actually been back and forth on this for quite a while. Like you guys said, it's been a few months that this has been in the works. So
Yeah. We started this back in, I believe, towards mid-August.
Really? Has it been that long? Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Let's not
get into it.
Well, there was a lot to do because we had to design this outfit. We had to come up with the staff design. We had to come up with the whole body type. We had to come up with the pose, and then we also had to discover how we would render everything that we did. So
yeah, it's been a
lot to do.
The most in depth. For sure, because most of the time we don't have to think about the design for the character, we just interpret it in a way that matches the style. But for this one, because the Star Fox characters don't typically take any single design from the games verbatim, it's mostly based on Star Fox Command for Brawl and onwards, but there's been pretty big differences as far as the uniform goes, so we had to do the same for Krystal. We had to try to imagine what it might look like based on the existing designs for the Star Fox characters in Smash, as well as the existing designs for Krystal in her own games. So it's been a long process. A lot of thinking, a lot of designing.
Well, you guys did a super good job in mixing the different her appearances and stuff. It's not completely a pink outfit, and it kind of has that assault kind of thing about it as well. So yeah, no, it's a mixture, kind of like the other Star Fox representatives in Smash Bros.
Yeah, there's a lot of mixed elements there.
You could definitely take time to just go over everything and try to piece together where each part's from. Like her necklace changes throughout the games. We have the Adventures necklace, or maybe her gloves are actually Fox's gloves from Smash, but purple. There's so many little things here and there that we've just sort of pulled and pooled together, really. And
not even necessarily straight from the designs either. We take certain ideas about shapes, like the patch of fabric on her shoulder is kind of the same as the one from Assault, but there's also a lot of different thinking that we had to kind of pull from Smash. Specifically, the boot shape is heavily based on the ones from Smash, from Fox and Falco, with a little bit of a V-shape kind of thing going on from her Assault and Command designs, I think. So much crazy hybridization there.
And the boots are from Fox and Falco and Smash, but it's interpreted a little differently for her.
Yeah, so lots of stuff.
It's good. She really feels like her own character.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad.
As she would if she were in the game.
Speaking of which, let's talk about that a little bit, because one of the things that bothers a lot of people about the Star Fox characters is the fact that they're very heavily based on Fox from the first game, and obviously they've kind of decloned the characters as the years went on, but you can clearly tell that they're derived from Fox's moveset. And for a character like Krystal coming from a game that's very unlike any other Star Fox game, there's a huge opportunity there for them to explore a different kind of moveset, one that uses this 3D modeled staff that Krys is modeling right now.
Ooh.
So there's a lot of really cool stuff that I think they could do with Krystal.
Well, I like to think of it as, Krystal the Fox, I interpret it as saying like Marth compared to Robin. You know, it's a sword fighter,
Exactly.
a magic user, it's a blaster user, and it's a staff user. You know, it's so different. These characters would not play at all like, I think.
And that's what's always been a selling point to me as far as potentially having Krystal in Super Smash Brothers is that, yeah, exactly that. She wouldn't feel like a clone. And I know a lot of people argue that, you know, Fox, Falco, and Wolf, they're very different from each other. And while there are differences, you know, you can't argue that they do feel very similar. And Krystal would bring that kind of, you know, that she's a magic user, you know, staff wielder. You know, I think she would play very differently, very unique, which is something that is important in new Smash Bros. Characters.
Yeah, definitely. We're looking at some 3D modeling process here. Right now,
Yes.
we did the staff, which is sort of based on the one from Adventures, but we wanted to do something a little bit different with it. We didn't want to use the exact same one because it feels a little bit more organic compared to like the mechanical aspects of their designs, from their blaster to just their uniforms, and we wanted to kind of marry technology with the magical staff kind of element. So maybe that gem, that blue gem, is the same one, but maybe put in a different body or something like that. That was kind of the thought process there. And yeah, it's a lot of new designs. This headpiece is pulled, I think, from Falco.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't change it that much at all. I think maybe just sort of made it more symmetrical. It was a little wonky the way they modeled it. I don't know why. I mean, it's not completely unsymmetrical, but in some areas it just is, like, for no reason pulled out one direction or another.
Yeah.
Falco's head is a weird shape.
Yeah, I guess so.
It is.
It's because he's a bird. He's a bird.
He's a void.
Poisonally, let's not continue on this trajectory.
Oh no. I was gonna say about this staff, you guys did a really good job of making it look a lot more modern, as if, you know, it were appearing in a new Star Fox game. Which I hope that it does actually come back, because that was super unique about Krystal, and that's another reason why she'd be great for this game.
Imagine if it comes back and modernized and it looks just like ours.
If
I would
only.
be so happy.
That would be too, yeah. It's fantastic. I mean, that was the idea behind a lot of this, was just kind of updating the design and bringing it to the Smash world as best we could.
Right now, what you're looking at is me sort of reproportioning the boots. When Chris modeled the 3D boot, he kind of had to do it in isolation from the PSD. So when it came back to the PSD, it was like, oh well, this V-shaped plate is gigantic. We weren't quite aware that it would be that big, so we made some small changes here and there to the proportions. Right there, I extended the staff a little bit to be a little bit longer.
Oh, I didn't even notice that you... I knew that you changed the shape of the staff, but I didn't notice in certain areas. I was wondering, like, I remember loading it in previously and the grip handles weren't reaching her hands. I was like, that's going to be frustrating to fix later. And then you did.
Yeah.
Well, magically it was fixed. I was like, I guess it wasn't that hard after.
Yeah, I extended the little center portion there, except there's no etching on it, so it's just make it a little longer.
Nice.
Yeah. The material there, I'm painting on the pink, is sort of kind of Zero Suit Samus-y, I guess.
Kind of.
Pulled from there.
I think that's what we
can see that.
most based it on, you know.
And then here comes the crazy part, the fur. You actually had to model
man.
the head in 3D to be able to put fur on it, right?
Yeah, we've done a lot of characters with fur, and I wanted to get this one as closely as I could. I mean, this is the first time I've done it. Before this, it was either you or Sean.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to do it the way they do it, you know, and that means these millions of polygons worth of hair.
You know, the human head
Millions.
doesn't even have millions on it, but this is a fox. There's face fur and tail fur, and so there's
Just
so
so
much hair
much.
here.
Yes. It was quite a process.
It came out really good. I mean, I remember you guys sending me a couple of the drafts for the fur, and it just came such a long way for the final product. Yeah, no, it came out really great.
It's funny because when we started out, I painted in just the rough shading of the fur, and it looks like really weird to not
Yeah.
have the fur there. It's like
You did that.
someone shaved all of her fur off or something.
You did that with Banjo and Kazooie as well.
Yeah,
and it's just super chilling to see that.
Yeah. You're not supposed to see these furry animals without their fur.
I recently
weird.
saw a shaved raccoon and it creeped me the heck out.
Have you seen a shaved bear? It's weird.
No, I
Shaved
haven't.
bears are weird. Don't
Where are
look
you
it
guys
up.
finding these things?
I don't know why I've ever seen these things. I guess I have bad friends who show me weird
Yeah.
pictures.
The goodness of the internet. That's what it's
Yeah.
meant for.
Oh man.
But that
It looks
tail,
like you guys have had a lot of practice with fur, and it really shows in the Smashified, I think.
that's good. I
There
don't
was
know
a
how
lot of
many
trial and error.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of different techniques. Like painting fur is way different, obviously, than modeling fur. So I one of these days, I'm starting to learn 3D modeling, which will hopefully help out in Smashified at some point in the future. Not soon, because I'm still barely into it, but hopefully, I can simulate some fur myself someday.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll help out in one way or another,
Yeah.
whether it be this or whatever.
Definitely. As you can see here, I'm kind of painting in some revisions to some of the hair flow on the face. Adding
Yes.
the eyebrows.
It was a beautiful mix of hair, and
What was that
3D.
whoa about?
When I turned off the layer for the hair, like underneath it, because you don't think about what's under there. It's just like complete nonsense. I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa, not meant to see this.
Yeah.
We hide it pretty well. It's a hot mess underneath.
Oh gosh.
It's always fun to just pull away the clipping masks and see. Yeah, like for that second, you just saw without the headband, and it was like, oh my
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might call it lazy, but everybody does that. If it's not
Yeah.
going to be visible in the end product, you don't have to worry about it. Just
Well, what's the
much.
point?
yeah.
Yeah. No, this came out so good with. It's like influenced by Command. I can definitely see that, but it kind of captures all of her appearances throughout her, like the Star Fox series. Like you can see elements of everything, and like the callback to Adventures is really cool too, because a lot of people didn't really agree with that game very much, but I thought it was super cool to see, a kind of Star Fox from a new kind of point of view. Fox
Yeah.
out of his ship, and he's his combat and stuff
Especially
really
like-
shone through.
Especially after Smash Brothers, because before Smash, you never saw him outside of his ship, really.
Exactly,
So that
yeah.
kind of it demonstrated that he's like a really talented fighter outside of his ship. He's not just a pilot, he can fight. He's a pretty acrobatic dude. So it's cool to see that facet of his character explored. And I think Krystal would pull a lot from that if she was in Smash. Probably straight from Fox's moves in that game.
And I hope the next game after Star Fox Zero goes back to that kind of assault formula, because I thought that was on the right track. That was so cool.
Hopefully, Star Fox Zero does so well that it gets a next game. I
Yeah.
don't want to wait another
Oh.
5 to 10 years for Star Fox.
There's a lot riding
Another
on that
10
game.
years.
A lot of pressure on it, because if it doesn't do well, then it's like even less incentive for them to do another one, because it felt like there wasn't a lot of incentive to do Star Fox Zero in the first place. It was mostly to satiate that kind of niche fan base almost that still remains from the N64 days. But hopefully they can bring it to a new generation of gamers in a way that really brings it back.
I hope they like it. We should definitely keep up that support.
Here's the finished
Krystal.
product. Woo! That tail.
I say it every time, but I'm like,
one's your favorite?
This is my favorite one. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
every time.
This one came out so good.
Woo.
Answers the call.
Yes.
Yep. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I also wanted to take a moment to thank our patrons on Patreon for making it possible for us to continue creating this stuff and helping the channel grow. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to check out the previous episodes of Smashified, and also be sure to watch the music-only version of this one, which has some music by Mykal Williams, so check that out. Also, thank
was
you,
awesome.
Jordan, for joining us on this commentary. It's been a pleasure to having
No
you.
worries. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, definitely. Be sure to check out his gaming channel, which we've linked to here in the annotations as well as in the description. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Do all the stuff that's on the screen. Just explore. Have fun with Smashified.
Oh, and
All
if you
the
like
links.
this guest commentary, maybe in the comments mention somebody who you'd like to see
Yeah,
in a future
definitely.
guest commentary. And tweet at us, because I love that.
I love that that outro screen with all those. I wish that was the roster.
Yep. Yep.